Okay, let's look at the associative property. The associative property applies to both addition and multiplication. So there's actually two separate properties, the associative property of addition and the associative property of multiplication. Associative comes from the root word to associate. Let's write that down. And one meaning of associate means to group. So, and that makes sense because what we're talking about here is grouping numbers together, or actually changing the way that they're grouped. So if we look at the addition example first, I've got 2 plus 3 plus 5 equals 2 plus 3 plus 5. So nothing is grouped right now, and nothing has moved around, so I haven't changed anything. If I had changed the order of any of those numbers, that would be the commutative property. So I haven't commuted anything. I haven't changed the order. But what I am going to do is change the way they're associated or grouped. Let's see, on the first example on the left-hand side, I'm going to put grouping symbols. In mathematics, we use parentheses often. So grouping the 2 and the 3 together tells me to do that first. But on the other side, I'm going to group the 3 and the 5 together. Let's see, grouping symbols say, hey, do that first. So if I were to look on the left-hand side of example 1, as a first step, I would actually take the 2 plus 3 first and get 5, and then add the other 5 and get a result of 10. On the right-hand side, I would do the 3 plus the 5 first, so there I would end up with 8. And then I would take 2 and then add 8, and sure enough, I get 10. So the associative property of addition says when you have some add-ins, things that you're adding up, it doesn't matter how you group them, you will get the same answer. Same thing applies to multiplication. So if we look on the right over here under example 1 for multiplication, I have no grouping symbols right now. I've got 2. The dots mean multiplication. I could use other ways to show multiplication, but I've got dots. If I have 2 times 3 times 4 equals 2 times 3 times 4, if I want to group on the first one, let's do it a little bit different on this one. I could put grouping symbols around the 3 and the 4, but then on the right-hand side, I'm going to group the 2 and the 3 together. By the way, I wouldn't necessarily need those dots in there anymore because the parentheses by themselves mean to multiply. See, left-hand side, I would do the 3 times the 4 first because it's inside the grouping symbols. That's 12. Now, just temporarily, I'm going to leave the parentheses there just to show you that that's another way that you can write the multiplication. That means 2 times 12. Let's see, 2 times 12 is 24. On the right-hand side, I would do the 2 times the 3 first. 2 times 3 is 6. Again, I'm going to leave the parentheses in there and put the 4 on the outside. That still means 6 times 4, and sure enough, 6 times 4 is 24. So I get 24 equals 24. So the associative property of addition, the associative property of multiplication says it doesn't matter how you group numbers, you'll get the same answer. You might wonder about associative properties for subtraction and for division. They don't exist. And you can try some examples. I'll just do a quick one here for subtraction. What if we had 6 subtract 2 subtract 3? And let's see, does that equal 6 subtract 2 subtract 3? Well, let's put some grouping symbols in. 6 minus 2 I'll do first on the left, and on the right hand side I'll do 2 minus 3. Well, let's see, 6 minus 2 is 4, and 4 minus 3 is 1. On the right hand side, I've got 6 minus, if I do the 2 minus 3 first, that's a negative 1. And 6 minus a negative 1 is actually 7. So there is no associative property for subtraction. And you can try the same for division. You'll find that it doesn't work for division.